everyone, and welcome to the September Craft My Stash collab, which is hosted by myself and Tamika, who has Scrap the World here on YouTube. Thank you so much for stopping by our channels. For this month, we decided that we wanted to do a fall themed project or projects, fall themed projects, but we wanted to try to stretch ourselves to do something new or different, and that's exactly what I did. I did not make a card this month, so I'm proud of myself there, but I did use my dies to create something different. All right, so when I think of fall, I think of football, and I think of like pumpkin patches, and I created quite a few things. So with crafting my stash, I decided that I wanted to create some little footballs. And I started with Dallas Cowboys because my aunt is a huge fan. So I like to add these on to my purses. So I sometimes attach key rings and add them on to my keys or the outside of my bags just to have a more durable like clasp. But yeah, so this one is Dallas Cowboy inspired. It could also work for other teams that are blue and white, especially like college teams. I have a college team back home that this would be perfect for as well. And I will mention that if you do not have a looper tool and you hate trying to wrap beads, this is what you should get. This is what I used. It just creates the circle at the end of your beads. You just stick the wire through and it will curl it and cut the excess. So yeah, if you don't have one of those, I'll link it down below, and they come in different sizes depending on how big you want your loops to be. So this is the 1.5 millimeter, and I think they have like a yellow one. I think that one might be 2.5. So it just depends on how big you want your loop to be. So this is my first one, and then I made a Atlanta Falcons inspired one. It could also be for Georgia Bulldogs. Again, I'm from Georgia, so I think of college and I think of the teams. So here is that little football there. Again, just using all of my beads, my Heshy beads, and my looper tool to make this happen. My sister was a huge Atlanta Falcons fan, and I inherited one of her bags. So I'm going to add this to a bag of hers to have in my stash. All right, and then next up, I created some earrings using these same embroidered pumpkins, and these are called lace, like freestanding lace. It's all thread. So I use my machine to create all thread. They're super light, super dainty in that aspect, and they're super durable as well because how you create them, the stabilizer you use, it helps add stiffness to it. So that's why you see that it doesn't move much. But yeah, so these are freestanding lace earrings, and I live in Austin, so I created a pair inspired by UT, which is currently undefeated. I also created a pair of the Dallas Cowboy inspired earrings, and then just a general pair of football Huggies. And I create Huggies for my daughter because she is still pretty young and sometimes loses the back off her earrings. So instead of worrying about that, I just create the Huggies because they close on themselves. So yeah. All right, so that was my football stuff, and now let's move on to one of my projects. So I created this notepad. It's just a notepad that I altered. And I went in with a Hero Arts die. It was actually a kit of the month from them. And I used that to create this window scene with all of the mushrooms and leaves. It comes with 3 stencils that you can use. I got the premium kit, so it also came with the stamp set and all the other things. But I love these type of dies from Hero Arts because you can create a window, or you can put a backing behind it if you don't want it to be like a see-through shaker. So that is what I made here, and I thought this would be perfect. So I used a bunch of inks and of course just built up my color, and then I went around with a white gel pen to add highlights, and then to finish it off I added in some it's like glossy accents, but it's the Spectrum Noir, so glossy highlights. I used that on here, and then for this I actually used the front cover that came on this little notepad, and I covered that with double-sided tape. I added down my glitter paper. I die cut this piece, the window piece from white cardstock. And then I made sure I had double-sided tape already on the back so I wouldn't have to adhere much. So I just added that, and I always make these oversized. So when I cut it out of a panel, I make sure my panel is oversized so I can cut it down to fit perfectly on my little card base, or in this case, the notepad. And then to finish it off, I added this sentiment from a different Hero Art stamp set, not from the kit. It's this one, and it says an open mind does wonders for the heart and soul. So I added that on here. This is also some Hero Arts acetate, which is heat resistant, so you can heat emboss on here. And I use my Alabaster Sparkle, which is a Brutus Monroe embossing powder, which I love, and I also use the Brutus Monroe embossing ink. And for the brown portion, since I did die cut this out of white paper, I just went in with one of my tri-blend markers, and it was the earth brown tone. And of course I've already put it up, but it was the earth brown tone, the lightest tone on that, so it'll be EB1 if you're looking for this color in Spectrum Noir markers. And I went around, and I wasn't very particular about how things blended. I wanted there to be texture on this. I wanted it to have movement. I wasn't looking for like one flat color. You know how we try to color to make it look like it's colored cardstock. I wasn't looking for that. I wanted the texture on this. And that is because this notepad fits inside of this box. So let me zoom out a bit. I didn't even measure the final size of this box. So it is about a little shy of 6, so like 5 3/4 by 7, and it is about 1.5 inches wide. So yeah, I created this box using my new Glowforge Aura, guys. I have been wanting a laser for so long, and I just didn't want to pay the hefty price tag of those like $10,000 lasers. So I finally broke down and got the Glowforge Aura. And if you know anything about me, like, I made it work for me so I could get some type of cash back to feel good about the purchase. So I used like cashback apps and whatnot. So I did not pay like the full price, and I got money back for store purchases. So that's how I roll when it comes to crafting. I need a discount. But yeah, so I purchased a Glowforge, and I used a Creative Fabrica file that I found. If you choose to use the Glowforge platform, there are plenty of designs on there. I've used some of those as well. But if you guys are interested in Glowforge projects or laser projects in general, please let me know. I will create content for that as well. Yeah, so I wanted to combine my love for paper crafting with my new toy. So again, this is a box. It's a book box. Everything is made out of wood. I used the proof grade wood. I forgot which one it is. Anywho, I used most of that for this project. But yeah, so this is my little book box. And the file had more etching and engraving and stuff. But the one drawback of the Aura is that it's kind of slow when it comes to that. So I didn't want to do that because the wood that I used already had like wood grain in it, so I just wanted to go with that natural look. But yeah, everything is the wood. So the hinges are the wood, the hinges are wood. There was no like, I didn't have to glue anything. I just reinforced some of the areas with some glue to keep them in place. But for instance, like this is a hinge, and you can just sit it back in there. I'll probably go back and reinforce that later, but I did reinforce like these pieces, which I used a lighter wood. I think it was like some basswood for just these edges. So I would still have a small piece of this pretty wood left to cut out if I needed to use it. But yeah, so that is what I used. And this die here is a Spellbinders die. It is actually I think it's the small die of the month from Spellbinders. So I just went with this purple and orange color scheme here. I added in some tones of yellow. I did die cut out of colored cardstock, but then I went in with my inks and added more dimension to bring out each floral element. For the little berry leaves, I did add the glossy highlights to those, and of course I went around and added the highlights with my white gel pen. I wanted to add something here, and I probably should have went back and engraved on my Glowforge, which I probably will do. But yeah, so that is what I have created, and I love it so much. And the notepad fits perfectly inside with a pen. And if I choose to gift this, I can add in a gift card, which I probably will gift this. But right now, I love it so much, I just want to look at it. While on the topic of giveaways, if you are interested in winning something, a prize pack from me, all you have to do is make sure that you like, subscribe, and comment to this video, as well as on Tamika's channel. Be subscribed to both of us, excuse me. I do go in and check when I pick my winner, so please make sure that you do that. And let me know who your favorite NFL team is, your college team, who your favorite football team is. If you don't have one, just say that. It could even be your kid's school. So yeah, that is what I wanted to share today, guys. I hope you have an amazing day, and thank you so much for watching.